Driver is still on the loose after allegedly hitting a pedestrian and driving off in Columbia. The pedestrian was rushed to the hospital with serious injuries after the crash last night. This latest hit and run has us looking into pedestrian safety in Columbia. ABC 17's Dan Messinio is live out near the connector where the crash happened. Dan, Columbia Mayor Bob McDavid formed a pedestrian safety task force back in May to look into this very issue.
Yeah, Jillian, I was at that original meeting of the task force, and at that time, Mayor Bob McDavid said he created it because of a dramatic rise in pedestrian crashes and cars hitting pedestrians in Columbia. Now, the latest one happened here at the southbound 63 on-ramp, and as you said, police are still looking for that driver. Columbia police are still looking for a driver who hit a woman walking across the South 63 on-ramp. This is one pedestrian crash in the list of a rising number in Columbia and at the national level.
In the last 6 years, we've seen a 15% increase, which translates to every 2 hours on America's roads, one pedestrian dies, unfortunately.
City leaders say there's been a dramatic rise in pedestrian deaths since last fall in Columbia. 4 pedestrians have been killed in a little over a year. City leaders say one reason for the increase might be that more people are ditching the car in favor of walking to their destination. In response, Mayor Bob McDavid called for a pedestrian safety task force in May. Councilman Ian Thomas is a co-chair for the task force. He says so far they've learned a few important things.
All of the bad crashes have happened on high-speed, high-volume roads going through areas that are building up in development,
such as Rangeline, Stadium, and Providence. Thomas talked about reducing the speed in these areas and adding more crosswalks and sidewalks as a way of improving pedestrian safety.
and then also educating both pedestrians and motorists about safe behavior, such as not texting while driving and paying attention when you're a pedestrian and you're crossing a street.
Councilman Thomas says that the city has invested quite a bit of money in pedestrian safety so far, and that Columbia is ahead of the curve when it comes to pedestrian safety, but there is still more work to do. Reporting live, Dan Messinio, ABC 17 News.
Thanks, Dan. The mayor's task force on pedestrian safety will compile its findings and put into a report for the mayor. That's expected to happen in March.